Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space, where I take stories from across the internet and read them for your entertainment. Just a quick note, if you are an author and would like to put your hat in the ring to get it narrated, there will be a pinned comment down below on how to do that. Anyways, onto the story. More Dangerous Than War by Coyote Havoc. From the moment humanity joined the Galactic Federation, Gillick wanted to visit the human home planet of Earth. His family assured him that it was just like any other planet. You've seen one mountain, you've seen them all, his father would say. His mother reminded him that Earth was, in fact, a very dangerous planet, but he still wanted to visit. When Gillick was 15, he set out to join the Federation Marines, hoping to get stationed on Earth. But that idea died quickly when war was declared by the Basford. It had taken 10 years of grueling planet-to-planet war before Basford would surrender and Gillick was discharged. 10 years of planetfall, hold the line, attack, retreat, capture, pack up and move on to the next world. He learned from his brothers and sisters in Mud and Blood terms like embrace the suck, Groundhog's Day, and grab your sheep, and let's get the flock out of here. He had fought, ate, shat, and cried with them. He was one of them, one of the most feared in the galaxy, a Federation Marine. His parents were so proud of him, present at his boot camp graduation, writing letters to let him know that they were thinking of him, sending care packages, and even attending his discharge ceremony. They complimented him on his sharp uniform and asked about his medals. That's when it happened. His father wrapped an arm around his son and asked, "What are you going to do now, Gillick?" Gillick had practiced for this moment. His Marine brothers and sisters had helped him every spare moment they had. They had coached him and prepared him for that single moment for that last 10 years. "I'm going to Earth," he said proudly. His best friend, Rocky Ramirez, joined him on his trip to Earth, and Rocky's parents met him at the Salt Lake City spaceport. The light from Sol shining off the Great Salt Flats seemed to welcome him with open arms. The air was incredibly dry, but oddly inviting. "How long are you here for, Gillick?" Rocky's mother asked politely. "We have a spare room if you want to stay for a while." "Don't argue," Rocky interjected. "You'll only make her angry." Angry human woman. He had seen this a few times with his sister Marines, as Basford Energy Carbine was less of a threat than an angry human woman. How could he not accept? Gillick asked about everything on the 5-hour drive to a tiny town called Dubois. By the time they had arrived, everyone was exhausted. Mrs. Rodriguez asked what human foods he had tried, and he informed her that he would love some black bean soup with sour cream. "Rocky made me try it about a year into the war," he recalled. "Puts hair on your chest." Rocky had woken him up when it was still dark, and they had drove off in an ancient human vehicle with an open rear cargo area. Rocky brought a few cheese tamales his mother had made the night before to go with the black bean soup. As Sol appeared in the eastern skies, it reflected pink of the snow-capped Teton Mountains, and Gillick remembered his father's words. "Have you seen one mountain?" They entered Grand Teton Park first, were waved through the gate by displaying their Federation Marine chits, and continued on what Rocky called a scenic route, as they retold the old stories while traveling through the vast forest of the park to another gate. "Welcome to Yellowstone, 100 credits for adults, 50 credits for kids and off-worlders," the ranger said. Gillick and Rocky smiled as they produced their Federation service identification chits again. "Service in the Basford War. Thank you for your service, folks, and please pull up to the information kiosk," the ranger said while handing them back their chits. The kiosk had a few humans and several other species waiting for the ranger to go through what was expected in the park. An older ranger with one hand walked slowly on stage and welcomed everyone to Yellowstone. They went through the history of the park, some stuff about the dead guy named Teddy, and then began to inform them of the rules. "Don't feed the bears," the ranger began, lifting up their nub and pointing at the crowd. "This didn't happen from a bear, but they'll do the same thing if you're lucky. If you're not lucky, we'll find your carcass in several places around the park, sooner or later." Gillick was in shock. What did the ranger just say? He was about to ask Rocky if it was a joke when the ranger continued. "The bison won't take your hand off. They will gore you in either the chest, head, thorax, wherever the horns may punch through, and then toss you in the air like a rag doll." As the ranger spoke, the bison slowly made its way out of the woods, less than 50 feet from the crowd. "There's one now. No, this is not an actor. Sir, please stay away." The warning was too late as a giddle went to pet the massive herbivore and was sent flying after a moment. "Mark!" the ranger yelled. "Send a search party for the body, and put the accident counter back up to 0. The what? But the ranger went right back into the spiel. "Here, friend-shaped does not mean friend. Ambush predators like mountain lions, lynx, and bobcats are all active in the park. Pack hunters like wolves and coyotes are also active here. They look like pets. They are not. That is also not how I lost my hand. Okay, the fauna was not safe. Now what about the floor? Beware of poison oak, the ranger continued. I also see a few off-worlders, to include the ones that search and rescue is being dispatched to find. We also have toxic mushrooms like Destroying Angel, Deadly Webcap, Panther Cap, and others." The fearing Gillick was pointing over. Where the hell had Rocky taken him? He thought about it as several other dangerous plants like Deathcomers were also mentioned. They had just finished fighting a war that was safer than this park. Was anything here safe? "The ground is also very unstable. You're on an active supervolcano after all. Geysers have been known to erupt from new places. Hot springs appear out of nowhere from time to time, and the occasional mud pot has occurred here. The temperature on most of these naturally occurring waters features is around 63 to 87 degrees Celsius. Stay on the road or boardwalks for your own safety. It was a hot spring that took my hand, if you were wondering." Even the ground was trying actively to kill anything that tread upon it. Earth was more dangerous than interplanetary war. Gillick was convinced that humans joined the military to escape the Hellworld. He looked at Rocky and mustered as much courage as possible as he spoke the only 6 words he could mutter. I'm ready to go home now." End of story. Story number 2. What Humans Call Us by Terran of War. No one wanted us. Out of all the races in the galaxy, we were considered the worst. The intelligent thought we were stupid, because we never contributed much to the galaxy. The strong considered us weak, because we were by far the smallest and least imposing race there was. All of them thought that we were ugly. We didn't have long, elegant legs like the insectile races or the sleek toned form of the race born to the water world. No, we were small and weak and stupid and ugly and fat. Only by force of the Galactic Treaty were we begrudgingly given a seat amongst the other races in the Union. Then the humans came into the galactic scene. No one could easily understand them because of their various languages with all their nuances had yet to be deciphered. Everyone was afraid of them because they were one of the largest and most imposing races to be seen in the galaxy. No one would question their intelligence because their debut onto the galactic stage involved them destroying a bug world with its own moon. We thought that they wouldn't want us either. How could such a powerful and warlike people care for a worthless thing like us? Then we began talks. It turned out our home planet was the closest to theirs. In some ways, they were very similar. Of course, we had to discern that from what little the translators could tell us. We negotiated land for protection and food for places to stay. They didn't have friends in the stars, but neither did we. In a lot of ways, we were more similar than we were different. They were mammals too. While we only ate plants, they ate plants and meats. Where we had small, dull horns and a thin tail, they had none. Where we had tiny little hooves, they had giant feet. We were similar, but different. We thought for certain that those differences would drive them away. But they only made the humans more interested in us, which made us more interested in them. Even then, we were worried. What if it was a lie? What if they were tricking us? There was no way that they could think highly of such dumb, ugly little fat creatures. Then they told us about a word they used for creatures like us. We weren't fat to them. We were thick. We weren't small. We were short stacks. They said that if we were dumb, then they must have been dumb too. They said that anyone who calls us weak would have to answer to the humans, because no one messes with a human's short stack. End of story. I would like to thank the T5 peeps, Cam Maxwell, Casper Arnholtz, Bushmaster 177, Leslie517, Red Panda 121, Cold War Boomerwaffen, Lightjock, Dragzoon WRE, Lord Azrakul, Severin Cerberus, and Arcadian. Thank you very much.